Before humans conquered the snowy peaks, before science understood life at extreme altitudes, there already existed a kingdom where the freezing cold and the mountain rocks decided who survived. In the wild Alps, among cliffs, deep forests, and icy winds, predators move in silence, dominating the mountains with patience and instinct. Welcome to Wild Alps, predators that rule the mountain kingdom. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to keep creating quality content. Don't forget to comment below on what you thought of the video and tell us where you are watching from so we can chat together. May God bless everyone with health, peace, and love for nature. Let's begin. When the snow begins to retreat from the alpine valleys, the grey wolf returns to roam the forests and meadows like an ancient shadow returning to its territory. Its scientific name is Canis lupus, a social predator whose strength is born from the endurance, intelligence, and cooperation of the pack. After the winter, red deer descend and move between clearings, slopes, and forests where the first buds begin to appear. For wolves, this transition marks an opportunity, because many herbivores still carry the wear and tear of the cold months. The pack does not hunt at random. They observe the group's movement, detect tired individuals, and choose the right moment to apply pressure. Their howls can travel several kilometers through the mountains, keeping members dispersed across valleys and forests united. An adult wolf usually weighs between 30 and 50 kilograms, but a coordinated pack can face much larger prey. The wolves detect a weakened red deer near the edge of the forest and begin to follow it from different directions. They advance in silence between trees and damp slopes, closing off escape routes while forcing the prey to expend energy. When the deer loses its rhythm, several wolves accelerate at the same time and launch a coordinated attack on the sloping terrain. The hunt ends thanks to the group's endurance, because in the Alps, collective patience can overcome the strength of a single animal. The presence of the wolf changes the behavior of red deer, forcing them to move more and avoid staying too long in one place. By reducing the excessive pressure of herbivores on young shoots and shrubs, the wolf helps the alpine forest to regenerate better. Its return also indirectly benefits birds, insects, and small mammals that depend on a more diverse and healthy vegetation. In the Alps, the grey wolf does not just return as a hunter, it returns as a natural force capable of restoring the lost balance of the mountain. While spring begins to awaken in the Alps, vast areas of the forest still remain covered by patches of snow that resist the return of heat. Among the pines and firs of these mountains, a silent figure appears that is rarely seen by the inhabitants of the forest. It is the Eurasian lynx, known scientifically as lynx, the largest wild feline in Europe. An adult can exceed 30 kilograms in weight, combining strength, agility, and an extraordinary ability to go unnoticed. Its ears, tipped with characteristic black tufts, help it capture faint sounds among trees, snow, and vegetation. Its broad paws function as genuine natural snowshoes, allowing it to move with ease over soft ground. During the alpine spring, it takes advantage of the areas where the snow melts to silently patrol the edges of the forest. Roe deer, hares, and small mammals form part of the prey that sustains this predator during much of the year. Unlike wolves, the lynx does not depend on a pack. It relies completely on stealth and surprise. The lynx detects a roe deer feeding near an area where the snow and vegetation create multiple natural shadows. It advances slowly between trunks and bushes, using every irregularity of the terrain to hide its presence. When it reaches the proper distance, it emerges from the cover with a sudden burst of speed and precision. The hunt ends in a few seconds because the lynx's success depends on getting so close that the prey barely has time to react. This ambush technique is considered one of the most effective among predators in European forests. Its presence helps regulate populations of herbivores and small mammals within the alpine ecosystems. In the forests of the Alps, the Eurasian lynx remains a ghost among the trees, a hunter so discreet that often it only leaves footprints on the melting snow. Thaw begins on the peaks of the Alps, where crystalline water awakens the earth and the air smells of freedom and rebirth. In this amphitheater of rock and green meadows, a giant with majestic antlers prepares to claim his throne in the heights. The red deer is the monarch of the Alpine valleys, a 200-kilogram block of muscle designed for endurance and elegance. Its strong legs allow it to navigate 40-degree slopes, moving with an agility that defies the magnitude of its body. After a relentless winter, the herd leaves the forested refuges of the valley in search of the tender shoots born near the sky. The vertical migration is a race against time, covering 10 kilometers of ascent to reach energy-rich pastures. The spring sun raises the temperature to 15 degrees Celsius, activating the cycle of life in every corner of the mountain. The females, carrying the promise of a new generation, seek the protection of dense vegetation for the sacred moment. The birth of a fawn is a silent event, a wisp of life of only 8 kilograms arriving into a world of dangers. During the first weeks, the fawn remains motionless while its mother feeds nearby so as not to attract the attention of killers. However, in the realm of the Alps, silence is often the prelude to a coordinated attack from the shadows. The boreal lynx watches from a granite rock, its eyes fixed on the subtle movement of the leaves hiding the offspring. Further down, the wolf follows the chemical trail left by the herd, patrolling the territory with lethal patience. The fawn tries to take its first steps, ignorant that a predator's attack radius is closing in on it. The lynx crouches, tensing its muscles like high-pressure springs ready to release a force of hundreds of newtons. Suddenly, the feline launches from the height, becoming a shadow of claws falling upon the unsuspecting prey. The mother emits a warning cry and strikes the ground with her hooves in a desperate attempt to defend her legacy. The attack misses by millimeters, and the lynx disappears into the forest, while the fawn returns to the side of the protective force. Victory is survival, but the price is eternal vigilance in a world where danger never sleeps under the sun. The red deer teaches us that growth is a daily battle and that fragility requires the courage of an entire herd. In the cycle of the alpine spring, life is a gift that must be defended with every heartbeat and every step toward the summits. The monarch of the valleys will continue to climb, writing his story of resistance on the rocks and meadows of eternity. The mountain does not forgive, but it deeply respects those who have the will to walk on the edge of the abyss. Among the highest peaks of the Alps, where the air is thin and the vertical stone seems to touch the sky, dwells the true acrobat of the abyss. The alpine ibex is not just an inhabitant of the heights, it is the undisputed king of the most impossible rock walls on the continent. Weighing up to 100 kilograms, this warrior of majestic horns defies gravity with a calm that terrifies the observer. In this hostile environment where the temperature drops to 20 degrees Celsius below zero, its survival depends on a skill that borders on the supernatural. It climbs to altitudes of 3,000 meters to find mineral salts and lichens hidden in the remotest crevices of the granite. Its hooves are evolutionary precision tools, with hard edges and an elastic center that adheres to smooth stone like a biological magnet. It can scale walls with an 80-degree incline, where a single calculation error means a fatal fall toward the void. It uses its powerful muscles to generate an impulse of thousands of newtons, allowing it to jump between tiny ledges with prodigious agility. Suddenly, the shadow of a winged predator is projected onto the cliff, starting a vertical chase at the edge of the world. The ibex launches toward a ledge of barely 10 centimeters, defying the abyss with absolute faith in the grip of its feet. Only 3 seconds of extreme balance decide if the mountain monarch keeps breathing or if gravity claims its life. The danger passes when the ibex reaches an inaccessible platform, leaving the hunter frustrated before the magnitude of the rock wall. The alpine ibex teaches us that when the path is vertical, the firmness of a single step is more valuable than the speed of flight. In the theatre of the Alps, the will to climb is the only force capable of overcoming the eternal fear of the fall. It will remain the architect of the heights, a statue of flesh and bone breathing in the freedom of the perpetual clouds. In the heart of the alpine summer, where the air vibrates over the ridges and the 30 degrees Celsius sun bathes the high meadows, a swift shadow defies gravity. The chamois is not just a mountain inhabitant, it is the elite athlete that dominates the frontier between bare rock and emerald green. Weighing barely 50 kilograms, this agile mammal possesses a skeletal structure designed for maximum flexibility in impossible terrains. Its short, hooked horns are tools for defense, but its true weapon is the explosive power of its hind legs. It inhabits the limit of the glaciers, where the ground is a treacherous mixture of loose stone and resilient alpine vegetation. Its hooves act as natural shock absorbers, with an internal membrane that adheres to the stone with the force of a biological anchor. During the cool mornings, it feeds on nutrient-rich grasses, always keeping one eye on the abyss and another on the blue sky. On steep slopes, the chamois can reach a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, performing tight turns that would leave any pursuer behind. The peace of the meadow is broken when the massive shadow of a golden eagle is projected over the group, starting a race for life. The chamois explodes into motion, launching toward the cliffs with prodigious jumps 6 meters long over the void. It uses its ability for instant change of direction to zigzag between the rocks, preventing the winged predator from fixing its trajectory. Only 3 seconds of desperate acrobatics in verticality decide if the athlete of the air captures its prize or if the chamois escapes to the safety of the stone. The eagle misses the impact by centimeters, while the chamois takes refuge in an inaccessible crack where gravity is its best ally. The chamois teaches us that on the mountain, agility is the most powerful shield against the strength of the sovereigns of the sky. In the balance of the Alps, this little warrior of the rocks will continue dancing on the edge of the world with the elegance of the summer wind. In the theatres of grass that stretch beneath the snowy peaks, where the morning sun dissolves the frost, life begins with a cautious movement. Among the granite rocks and wildflowers, a bustling colony of furry guardians awakens to reclaim their place under the sky. The alpine marmot is the eternal sentinel of the meadows, a robust 8-kilogram rodent designed for survival in verticality. It is not a fast hunter, but its social intelligence and deep tunnels make it the owner of the underground labyrinth. In this ephemeral summer, the colony works without rest, collecting grass for the long sleep that will last 8 months under the ice. Every mouthful of vegetation is a victory against malnutrition. Accumulating fat reserves to resist temperatures of 20 degrees Celsius below zero. While the group feeds on tender shoots, the sentinels stand on their hind legs, scanning the horizon with absolute vigilance. The silence of the mountain is filled with social sounds, a mixture of games and excavations that strengthen community ties. However, this abundance of meat and fat attracts the sovereigns of the air patrolling from the white clouds. The golden eagle, with a wingspan of 2 meters, descends in a deadly dive to claim its part in the meadow banquet. The electrical tension of the hunt is felt in the air just before the danger is detected by the guardian on duty. A sharp and piercing whistle, an acoustic war cry, tears the calm and activates the frantic flight of the entire colony. Suddenly, the meadow becomes deserted while the marmots launch headfirst toward the protective darkness of their 3-meter deep tunnels. Only 3 seconds of reaction decide if the group survives the air attack or if the predator secures its food. The marmot teaches us that in the immensity of danger, the voice of one is the salvation of all, and vigilance is the price of peace. During the alpine summer, when warm currents rise through the valleys and the peaks are free of snow, the golden eagle rules the mountain sky. Its scientific name is Aquila chrysaetos, one of the most powerful and admired birds of prey in the northern hemisphere. With a wingspan that can exceed 2.3 meters, it uses air currents to traverse enormous territories with a minimum expenditure of energy. Its sight is extraordinary and allows it to detect prey movements from several kilometers away in favorable conditions. From the heights, it observes marmots, hares, birds, and young ungulates that roam the alpine slopes, meadows, and cliffs. No other predatory bird in the region possesses such an impressive combination of size, strength, and control of the airspace. Breeding pairs usually establish extensive territories around mountains and cliffs where they build their nests. From those elevated points, they can watch over much of the alpine landscape without needing to move constantly. The eagle detects a young chamois moving across a rocky slope away from the protection of the adults. It takes advantage of the air currents and the mountain's geography to approach without drawing the prey's attention. When it finds the right angle, it launches into a spectacular dive from a great height with extraordinary precision. The hunt ends in a matter of seconds, because the speed and surprise factor make the golden eagle a formidable threat to vulnerable prey. Its presence forces numerous mountain animals to remain alert, even when danger seems to be far away. As a top predator of the sky, it helps maintain the balance between different populations of small and medium-sized vertebrates. In the Alps during the summer, the golden eagle represents the maximum authority of the heights, a sovereign of the wind capable of transforming the sky into its hunting territory. When autumn arrives in the Alps, the forests are tinged with gold and reddish tones while the animals begin to prepare for the arrival of winter. Among the trees and meadows appears the red fox, one of the most adaptable and opportunistic predators in Europe. Its scientific name is Vulpes vulpes, a species capable of thriving in mountains, forests, open fields, and even areas near humans. With the arrival of the cold, every food opportunity acquires a special value for future survival. The fox takes advantage of fallen fruits, small animals, insects, and any available resource before winter limits the options. Its extraordinary hearing allows it to detect movements hidden under the grass, dry leaves, and even under a light layer of snow. Field mice represent one of the most important energy sources during this time of year. The fox detects the movement of a mouse among the autumn vegetation and fixes all its attention on the exact spot where it is located. It advances slowly, using bushes, tall grass, and uneven ground to approach without being seen. When the right moment arrives, it jumps with speed and precision to capture the prey before it disappears into the cover. The hunt ends in seconds, because the combination of sharp hearing and quick reflexes makes the fox a very efficient hunter. In addition to hunting, it also takes advantage of carcasses abandoned by deer predators, preventing valuable resources from going to waste. This opportunistic ability allows it to survive even when environmental conditions become difficult. During the autumn, it accumulates essential energy reserves to face the coldest months of the year. In the forests and mountains of Europe, the red fox proves that intelligence, flexibility, and perseverance can be as valuable as strength for survival. Under the mantle of the night that envelops the lower valleys of the Alps, where the scent of damp earth and fallen leaves floats in the frigid air, a shadow of black and white stripes emerges. The European badger does not seek the glory of the heights, but instead rules the hidden kingdom beneath the roots of ancient pines and oaks. Weighing 12 kilograms and with a robust body, This small titan is the most sophisticated architect of the European soil. It builds tunnel systems called sets, which can extend for 50 meters and be used by generations for centuries. It is a silent engineer that aerates the earth and creates refuges for other species, maintaining the balance of the alpine ecosystem without being seen. During the cool nights of 10 degrees Celsius, it patrols the forest with a sense of smell capable of detecting life crawling in the dark. Its diet is a banquet of opportunities, from earthworms and beetles to wild berries and small rodents. On the threshold of autumn, the badger accelerates its feeding to accumulate massive layers of fat under its tough skin. Suddenly, the silence of the undergrowth is broken by the crack of a branch under the weight of a hungry intruder. A fox approaches the clan's entrance, challenging the boundary of the underground fortress with a greedy look. The badger emerges with a guttural growl, exposing its jaws, capable of exerting a pressure of hundreds of newtons. Only 3 seconds of pure aggressiveness force the intruder to retreat, recognizing that this grey-furred warrior will not yield its home. The victory ensures the peace of the burrow, allowing the family to prepare for the calm of the imminent winter. The European badger teaches us that real power is not always shown under the sun, but is built with perseverance in the shadows. It is the ghost of the alpine soil, a legend of claws and wisdom that will continue watching the pulse of the earth from its depths. Among the granite peaks of the Alps, where the autumn wind begins to tint the leaves the colour of blood, an ancient sovereign awakens from his lethargy. The European brown bear is the heaviest ghost of the mountains, a 300-kilogram titan reigning in the silence of hidden valleys. In this scenario of rock and wood, survival is a desperate race against time before the snow covers every trace of life. With winter lurking, the bear enters a phase of insatiable feeding, seeking to accumulate a layer of fat several centimeters thick. It uses its 8-centimeter claws to dig into the cold earth, searching for nutritious roots and bulbs hidden under the granite stones. Its sense of smell is a biological compass of millimeter precision, capable of detecting the trail of an insect colony from kilometers away. It roams the wild berry bushes with infinite patience, consuming thousands of fruits to extract every last drop of energy. In this search for calories, the bear does not despise anything, from small rodents to the honey protected by fierce bees in hollow trunks. A young individual tries to dispute the feeding territory, provoking the wrath of the great male patrolling the forested slope. The giant stands up on his hind legs, reaching a height of 2 meters and launching a roar that makes the air of the valley vibrate. With a blow of his paw of 4,000 newtons, he hits a dry trunk to demonstrate a strength that knows no rival in the mountain range. Only 3 seconds of brute display are enough for the intruder to retreat, leaving the autumn banquet to the legitimate sovereign. After weeks of hyperphagia, the bear's body transforms into an energy bunker, ready to face the imminent storm. It seeks a protected cave among the mountain cracks, where the temperature remains stable while the outside world freezes. The brown bear teaches us that in nature, real power is the ability to prepare in abundance to survive in scarcity. Under the thick fog descending from the alpine glaciers, where the air begins to bite with a renewed cold, the silence of the forest is torn by a war cry. The bellowing of the red deer is not just a sound, it is the mountain's thunder, announcing the start of the most critical season for its lineage. An alpha male of 200 kilograms stands like a statue of tense muscles, displaying massive antlers that have grown throughout the summer. His eyes are clouded by testosterone as he challenges any rival daring to cross the boundary of his harem. Success in these weeks of fury will decide who has the right to pass their strength to the next generation of snow warriors. A young challenger emerges from the thicket, responding to the call with an equally powerful cry, carrying the ambition of a new monarch. The two titans evaluate each other from a distance, measuring the magnitude of their natural weapons before the diplomacy of the raw ends. Suddenly, they charge at each other with explosive power, clashing their crowns of bone in a crash that resonates throughout the valley. The impact of thousands of newtons makes their necks tense to the limit, while the meadow soil is torn under their firm hooves. Only 3 seconds of brutal pushing define the victor, when the rival yields to superior strength and flees toward the shadow of the forest. The victory is absolute, allowing the king to maintain his dominance over the territory while autumn begins to transform the landscape. Gold and copper cover the slopes, while the oak leaves fall like a silent rain over the deer's battlefield. The temperature drops rapidly to 5 degrees Celsius, forcing every living being to slow its pace to conserve vital energy. On the highest peaks, the first snowfalls cover the granite with a white mantle, a warning that the time of abundance has ended. The animals of the Alps begin their final preparation, looking for the last fruits and roots before the world closes under the ice. The red deer, exhausted by the battles, must recover its strength by consuming the dry vegetation that still remains in the forest clearings. The urgency of survival is felt in the frigid air, where every breath is a cloud of vapor vanishing into the autumn gloom. The cycle of life teaches us that real power is not just winning in combat, but having the endurance to face the approaching winter. In the immensity of the Sierra, the Mountain King's legacy will sleep under the snow, waiting for the next rebirth of spring. The Alps remain an eternal stage of glory and sacrifice, where nature writes its story with blood, bone, and frost. In the most inhospitable peaks of the Alps, where the wind cuts like an ice blade and life seems to have surrendered, a winged guardian patrols the abyss. The bearded vulture is no ordinary vulture. It is a specialist of the mineral desert that has turned death into its greatest banquet. With a wingspan of almost 3 meters and plumage tinted orange by rock oxides, this titan of the air is a mythical vision among the clouds. In the scarcity of late autumn, when the meat has already been devoured by others, he looks for what no one else can consume, the bones. He possesses a stomach with an extremely acidic pH, capable of digesting the collagen and minerals from bone remains up to 20 centimeters. However, faced with pieces that are too large, he deploys a tactical bombing technique honed by millennia of evolution. He grips a sheep's femur with his powerful claws and ascends to an altitude of 100 meters above fields of flat stone. With millimeter precision, he calculates the wind angle before releasing the load toward the natural granite anvil. The bone falls in a deadly trajectory, hitting the rock with a force of hundreds of newtons that fragments it into 1,000 pieces. Only 3 seconds of freefall are enough to reveal the hidden treasure, the marrow, the most nutritious essence of the mountain. By cleaning up the remains others abandon, this air purifier prevents the spread of diseases and maintains the health of the valleys. The bearded vulture teaches us that in nature, nothing is lost, and that even in the toughest things resides the energy to keep flying. Total winter descends over the Alps, turning the landscape into a white crystal desert where the wind freezes life itself. In the middle of this frigid vacuum, a snow ghost emerges, the mountain hare, a prodigy of biological metamorphosis designed for extreme cold. With the change of season, its brown fur has transformed into a pure white mantle, allowing it to disappear against the infinite horizon. Weighing barely 3 kilograms, this small mammal defies temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius below zero and gusts of 80 kilometers per hour. It does not seek refuge in deep caves, but instead huddles in the snow, becoming a frost statue that the human eye cannot distinguish. Its survival depends on tactical invisibility, remaining motionless for hours while predators patrol the white desert. However, danger has wings. A golden eagle detects a subtle movement and descends like a clawed arrow toward the small shadow. The hare explodes into a frantic race at 60 kilometers per hour, using its hind legs as powerful springs over the virgin snow. Only 3 seconds of acrobatic turns and pure reflexes decide if the runner reaches a deep crack or if it succumbs to the sovereign of the air. The mountain hare teaches us that in the realm of ice, the ability to adapt and disappear is life's most powerful armor. When winter dominates the Alps and snow covers forests, meadows, and mountains, a small predator continues hunting beneath the white surface. It is the ermine, known scientifically as Mustela erminea, one of the most agile and daring hunters in Europe. During the winter, its brown fur changes to a bright white color that makes it almost invisible on the snow. This color change is an extraordinary adaptation that allows it to approach its prey without being detected. Although it rarely exceeds 30 centimeters in body length, it possesses energy and aggressiveness disproportionate to its size. Its long and flexible body allows it to enter tunnels where many other predators cannot follow their prey. The mice and small rodents that live under the snow represent an essential source of food during the coldest months. The ermine detects movement within a network of hidden tunnels under the snow and begins to follow the prey's trail. It slides at high speed through the narrow passages, taking advantage of its size and flexibility to reduce the distance. When it locates the rodent, it launches a lightning attack before the prey finds an escape route. The hunt ends in seconds because the ermine's speed and ferocity more than compensate for its small size. Thanks to its effectiveness as a predator, it helps control rodent populations that could increase rapidly under the winter snow. In the ice-covered Alps, the ermine proves that survival does not depend on size, but on adaptation, speed, and determination. When the winter night covers the Alps and temperatures drop below zero, a winged predator awakens to claim dominance over the darkness. It is the Eurasian eagle owl, known scientifically as bubo bubo, one of the most powerful nocturnal birds in Europe. With a wingspan that can approach 2 meters, it combines strength, stealth, and an extraordinary capacity for nocturnal observation. Its enormous eyes are adapted to capture the scant light available during the long alpine winter nights. In addition to sight, it possesses an extremely sensitive hearing capable of detecting weak movements among the snow and vegetation. Horse, birds, and small mammals form an important part of its diet during the coldest months of the year. The owl detects a hare moving over the snow and begins to approach, taking advantage of the silence of the night. It descends noiselessly thanks to its specialized feathers, remaining invisible to the prey until the last moment. When it reaches the proper distance, it extends its talons and launches a precise attack from the darkness. The hunt ends in seconds, confirming the eagle owl as one of the most efficient and feared predators of winter nights in the Alps. In the damp cracks of the Alps, where meltwater whispers secrets under the rocks, a creature the color of midnight emerges. The alpine salamander is no ordinary amphibian. It is a monument to resilience in a world of granite and perpetual ice. Its intense black skin functions as a biological solar panel, absorbing every tiny bit of energy from the pale mountain sun. Inhabiting altitudes of up to 3,000 meters, this small being defies the laws of biology in temperatures near 0 degrees Celsius. Its survival strategy is unique, being one of the few amphibians that gives birth to fully formed young without the need for water. At extreme altitudes, the gestation period can last up to 4 years, the longest recorded for any terrestrial vertebrate. This slow process is a tactical response to the brevity of the alpine summer and the scarcity of energy resources. Despite its size of barely 15 centimeters, the salamander is a vital predator that controls insect populations on the forest floor. It possesses poison glands that secrete potent toxins, becoming a deadly mouthful for any distracted bird or mammal. Suddenly, a sudden storm drops the temperature to 5 degrees Celsius, forcing the amphibian to seek immediate refuge. It slides into the depth of the rock, stopping its metabolism in a pause that can last months under the snow. Only 3 seconds of exposure to the frigid wind would be enough to freeze its small heart if it did not find its mineral fortress. The alpine salamander teaches us that in nature, extreme patience is the only way to overcome time and cold. Its existence is a reminder that the smallest inhabitants are those who sustain the foundations of life in the mountain range. While the granite stands firm, this living shadow will remain the silent guardian of the coldest corners of the Alps. The Alps are not just mountains. They are a vertical battlefield where climate dictates who lives and who disappears under the ice. From the deep valleys to the 4,000-meter peaks, the mountain is divided into belts of life that become more hostile with every step. Temperature is a stern judge, dropping 1 degree Celsius for every 200 meters of ascent toward the vacuum of the summits. At high altitude, the air becomes so thin that every heartbeat consumes precious energy that nature does not return. Mountain winds whip the ridges at a speed of 150 kilometers per hour, capable of tearing away the will of the strongest. The Foehn wind, a warm and treacherous breath, can melt snow in hours, altering the delicate thermal balance of the ecosystem. However, the greatest terror of the Alps sleeps under the accumulated weight of winter storms, the avalanche. Millions of tons of snow wait for a single vibration to transform into a white tide of absolute destruction. Evolution has forged here cold-blooded warriors and dense-furred beings who have learned to read the signals of the changing sky. Life in the Alps is a triumph of biological engineering over the relentless laws of atmospheric physics and gravity. Suddenly, a deafening crack resonates on the slope, and a wall of snow collapses with the force of millions of newtons. The air fills with icy dust, while the white chaos devours everything in its path toward the deep abyss. Only 3 seconds of pure instinct decide if a creature manages to take refuge behind a rock spur, or if it is buried forever. After the storm, silence returns to the Alps, leaving a landscape redesigned by the necessary violence of wild nature. The mountain climate teaches us that real power does not reside in physical resistance, but in the ability to transform with the cold. In the vastness of the summits, life remains the bravest miracle breathing against the eternal fury of the elements. Today, the frozen heart of the Alps faces a silent metamorphosis that threatens to erase the traces of a millennial past. The glaciers, those crystal cathedrals that have shaped the valleys for eons, are retreating before the advance of unprecedented heat. With every 1 degree Celsius increase in the atmosphere, the frontier of life shifts toward the summits, leaving species with no space to flee. Accelerated thaw alters the pulse of the rivers, transforming spring oases into dry riverbeds that burn under the summer sun. The sovereigns of the mountain, such as the alpine ibex and the chamois, are forced to climb toward the vacuum, seeking a cold that no longer exists. This fragmentation of the white world breaks biological corridors, isolating populations on islands of rock surrounded by a sea of uncertainty. However, in the midst of this climate crisis, a spark of hope arises through Europe's most ambitious conservation programs. The return of the wolf and the boreal lynx is a victory of human will to restore the balance lost in the food chain. These strategists of the shadow return to patrol the forests, controlling deer populations and allowing the forest to breathe again. The bearded vulture, which was once erased from the alpine sky, today spreads its 3-meter wings over the recovered peaks. The reintroduction of the ibex in national parks ensures that the architect of the heights continues to defy the abyss with its majestic presence. Protecting the Alps is not just saving a mountain range. It is ensuring the flow of water and life for millions of beings inhabiting its slopes. Coexistence between man and wild nature is a fragile pact that demands respect and a new wisdom in the face of global change. Only 3 seconds of collective consciousness can mark the beginning of an era where technology works in favor of ecological balance. The future of these giants of flesh and bone depends on our capacity to understand that climate is the sculptor of our own destiny. The Alps continue to be one of the most spectacular stages on the planet, a reminder of the indomitable force of creation. Each snowy summit and each deep valley is a testimony to life's resilience in the face of time's hardest tests. The mountain is not an infinite resource, but a living organism that beats under the weight of our decisions today. The legacy of the Alps belongs to future generations, and our mission is to deliver them a kingdom where the ice still keeps its secrets. As long as the golden eagle keeps screaming over the granite, there will be hope that Europe's wild beauty will never be just a memory. Subscribe to the channel and share this video to carry this message of respect far and wide. Every gesture helps protect nature's wonderful creation. Before humans fully understood the power of the wild winter, before science could explain how life survives beneath ice and snow, there already existed a world where the cold tested every living creature. Among snow-covered pine forests, hot springs, and frozen valleys of Yellowstone, animals must struggle against hunger, freezing cold, predators, and the harshest secrets of survival. Welcome to Extreme Yellowstone, Survival Secrets in the Coldest Winter. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate us to keep creating more quality content. Don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts about the video, and tell us where you are watching from so we can discuss it together. Let's begin. When winter blankets the Yellowstone Plateau, it transforms this wilderness into one of the continent's most challenging environments. Snow accumulates meters deep in the valleys and slopes, while temperatures frequently drop far below freezing. The Lamar Valley, often called the Serengeti of the United States, becomes the stage for nature's most dramatic survival stories. For the grey wolf, reintroduced to Yellowstone in the mid-1990s, winter is a time of opportunity. Their thick double coats and efficient pack hunting tactics help them adapt perfectly to these extreme conditions. A wolf pack moves as a unified organism across the landscape, communicating through subtle body language as they track their prey through the snow. Their powerful sense of smell can detect animals buried under deep snow or catch the scent of an elk herd miles away. The confrontation between wolf and elk dates back to the dawn of time, a deadly ballet where each side knows its role well. The elk, despite its colossal size and dangerous antlers, finds itself at a disadvantage in deep snow. Their long legs pierce the snow crust, forcing them to expend valuable energy with every heavy step. Wolves, with lighter bodies and wider paws, can often travel across the surface with relative ease. They test the prey herd, searching for signs of weakness. They identify an animal that lags behind, walks with a slight limp, or shows hesitation. The decision to attack is not made lightly. Every encounter carries the risk of injury from sharp hooves or antlers. A broken jaw or an injured leg can mean death for a predator that must hunt to live. Once decided, the pack coordinates with astonishing precision. Some wolves create distractions while others approach from behind. The chase can last for minutes or miles, and every animal must put its endurance to the ultimate test. The geothermal heart of Yellowstone provides a special refuge in this frozen world. Across the park's 2.2 million acres, more than 4,000 thermal features create microclimates where snow melts to reveal patches of grass. These oases become meeting points for Yellowstone's most iconic resident, the American bison. Weighing up to 900 kilograms, these living monuments of prehistoric North America developed extraordinary adaptations to survive the winter. Their gigantic heads function as snowplows, pushing snow aside to reveal vegetation. Their thick skin and dense undercoat, with fibers 10 times thicker than human hair, insulate them from the most intense cold. Bison reduce their metabolism during the winter, conserving energy by moving less and digesting food more slowly. The landscape of Yellowstone in winter is defined by its extremes. The volcanic caldera that forms the park's central plateau is one of the largest on Earth, a sleeping giant whose thermal breath creates a mosaic of microclimates. In some areas, just centimeters away from the snowpack, the ground remains warm enough to sustain plant life. The warm soil provides a crucial habitat for small mammals. The red fox has perfected a remarkable hunting technique to survive the winter. With ears capable of detecting the slightest rustle under meters of snow, the fox locates mice and voles moving through subnivean tunnels. In a behavior known as mousing, the fox leaps high and dives headfirst into the snow. The fox often emerges with prey in its jaws. These small predators must consume an amount of food equivalent to their own body weight every 2 days to maintain their energy throughout the winter. Not all of Yellowstone's residents choose to face the winter challenge. Nearly 150 bird species depart for warmer climates, while others, like the grizzly bear, opt for hibernation. By late October, most grizzlies have retreated to their dens after spending the previous months in a feeding frenzy called hyperphagia. They consume up to 20,000 calories daily to build up fat reserves for their long sleep. A female bear will give birth during hibernation, usually to twins, the cubs, weighing less than half a kilogram at birth. Nurse and grow in the safety of the den while winter rages outside. By the time spring arrives, they will weigh about 7 kilograms and face the outside world alongside their protective mother. For the Yellowstone elk, winter is a brutal equation of energy conservation. These magnificent ungulates, with a population of over 10,000 in the ecosystem, must find enough food to survive while spending as little energy as possible. Many migrate to lower elevations outside the park, following ancestral routes used by their predecessors for millennia. Those that remain face a daily struggle to find food and avoid predators. The sound of elk hooves scraping at the snow becomes the winter soundtrack of the valleys. They dig holes that look like craters, revealing the sparse vegetation hidden beneath. Their specialized digestive system allows them to process even the lowest quality forage. Elk extract maximum nutrients from frozen grasses and shrubs that would provide very little sustenance to other species. As winter grows more severe, the park falls into a state of stagnation. The snow muffles sound, creating a quietude interrupted only occasionally by the cracking of trees or the distant howl of a wolf pack. Temperatures can vary drastically, from piercing cold under clear skies to relative warmth during snowstorms when clouds act as thermal insulation. Night brings its own magic to a Yellowstone winter with minimal light pollution. The stars shine with unusual clarity, and occasionally auroras dance in the sky in green curtains. The cold air transmits sound with amazing efficiency. It reaches the point where the hoot of a great horned owl can be heard from miles away. For the creatures of Yellowstone, winter is not something to conquer, but something to endure through adaptation. Each species carries with it the wisdom of countless generations etched into its body and behavior. These are lessons learned through relentless natural selection. This knowledge is manifest in the bison's giant head, developed to clear snow, and in the fox's precise strike. As the calendar advances, winter seems endless and food becomes scarce. The weak begin to succumb, and their bodies fuel the nutrient recycling cycle that makes this ecosystem function. After the long silence, the first sounds of spring emerge timidly with the dripping of icicles. The gentle murmur of streams under the ice is heard, along with the distant call of Canada geese. Welcome to Yellowstone in spring, the season of rapid rebirth. Here, life accelerates from the lethargic rhythm of winter to the hurried pulse of reproduction. The transition showcases nature's extraordinary resilience and the complex synchronization evolved over millennia. For the grizzly bear, the start of spring marks the end of a 5-month dormancy. The mother now faces the challenge of finding sufficient nutrition and protecting her vulnerable cubs. She has lost up to 30% of her body weight and must recover reserves while producing milk for her young. The bear's first meals often come from the carcasses of animals that died in winter. As omnivores with a flexible diet, grizzlies quickly transition to digging for roots and lily bulbs. Their massive shoulder muscles and long claws make them efficient excavators. Communication becomes crucial, and tree marking acts as a complex olfactory bulletin board. Each bear leaves a unique scent mark that transmits information about its identity and status. In a landscape where direct encounters can be dangerous, this system helps them maintain the necessary distance. Death during the winter creates opportunities for Yellowstone's cleanup crew. The raven, with intelligence rivaling that of chimpanzees, follows wolf packs. It knows that a successful hunt will provide a feast. These cunning birds have been observed pulling the tails of wolves to distract them and lure them away from a carcass. They also drop branches on sleeping wolves to move them away from prey. The coyote is more cautious and waits for the wolves to leave before approaching to eat the remains. Their relationship is complex and often violent. Wolves kill coyotes not just for competition, but due to territorial instinct. However, the coyote persists thanks to its adaptability, sometimes forming temporary alliances with ravens. The latter act as aerial scouts to locate food in exchange for access to the carrion. Not all winter residents of Yellowstone merely endure the rigor. Some species seem to enjoy it. River otters transform ice-covered channels into genuine playgrounds. They create slides along the riverbanks to move with efficiency and for pure pleasure. These mustelids keep breathing holes open in the ice to fish and can hold their breath for up to 4 minutes. Their dense fur helps them retain heat even in the most frigid waters. The Madison River remains partially open during the winter, creating a vital resource for waterfowl. The trumpeter swan congregates in these rare open waters. Once hunted almost to extinction, by 1935, fewer than 70 individuals remained in the U.S. Today, their captivating song resonates once again throughout Yellowstone's winter landscape. For wolf packs in Yellowstone, spring brings new challenges and opportunities. The alpha female, who mated in February, now prepares to give birth. The entire pack becomes more protective than ever of their den, which is usually an enlarged old badger or coyote burrow, or a natural cavity among tree roots. In this sanctuary, 4 to 6 cubs will be born, blind and totally dependent on their mother and the extended family structure of the pack. The cubs grow rapidly, opening their eyes at 2 weeks. At 3 weeks of age, they begin to leave the den and explore the environment under the pack's strict protection. The entire group participates in the rearing. Non-breeding members bring food and take turns as babysitters while others hunt. This collective rearing tactic increases survival chances in a hostile environment where hunting success is never guaranteed. Spring predation requires different tactics than those used in winter. As the snow retreats, the elk regains its mobility advantage, but calves born in May and June become priority targets. Wolves must balance the ease of capturing vulnerable newborns with their small size, which provides less nutrition. Adult elk, especially females recovering from birth and winter, remain vulnerable as they have not yet regained their optimal physical condition. The bison calving season transforms Yellowstone's demographic landscape. They are born with a characteristic orange-red coat that will darken with age. Calves can stand up almost immediately after birth and follow the herd in just 1 day. These calves, affectionately called red dogs by park staff due to their color and playful personality, infuse new energy into the herd. Bison mothers form loose nursery groups, creating a solid defensive barrier around their young. When wolves or bears approach, These giant mothers form a united front. Their sharp horns and 900-kilogram bodies force predators to reconsider. Even the grizzly, the apex predator, must be cautious when approaching a defensive bison herd. As smaller mammals emerge from their hibernation burrows, they become prey for opportunistic hunters. The coyote shifts its diet from scavenger to hunter of ground squirrels, voles and mice. Its characteristic pouncing technique becomes common in the meadows where rodents begin their activity. The fastest animal in North America, the pronghorn, returns to the north of the park as the snow melts. Capable of reaching sustained speeds of 88 kilometers per hour, this delicate ungulate developed its extraordinary quickness to escape extinct Ice Age predators, such as the American cheetah. Today, their speed gives them a wide safety margin against wolves and coyotes, although newborns remain in danger. Females separate from the herd to give birth, usually to twins, and hide them in the tall grass during the first few weeks. Young pronghorns have almost no body odor. Their spotted coat provides excellent camouflage, and they remain instinctively motionless in the face of danger. The mother only returns briefly to nurse them, minimizing the chance that a predator will discover their location. The fish spawning season attracts attention from the air. The osprey, after returning from the south, establishes nesting territories near productive fishing areas. This expert hunter can submerge completely in the water, feet first, to catch fish before emerging with the prey held firmly in its curved talons. A reversible outer toe and spiny pads on the feet help them grip slippery prey while flying back to their nests. Bears are also attracted by the spawn. Although the Yellowstone grizzly is not as skilled a fisherman as its coastal relatives, the concentrated source of protein attracts hungry individuals to the stream banks. Beavers become particularly active with the arrival of spring. They repair dams and lodges damaged by winter ice and flooding. These ecosystem engineers transform the landscape with their constructions, creating wetlands that benefit countless species. A beaver family can felling hundreds of trees a year, preferring aspens and willows. Beaver incisors are extraordinary tools. They are self-sharpening and grow continuously, with an iron-reinforced enamel layer that gives them their characteristic orange color. These specialized teeth allow them to gnaw on trees much larger than their own bodies, shaping the riparian environment and increasing the biodiversity of the entire system. As the wetlands thaw, Yellowstone's resident birds return in waves. The sandhill crane, among the first to arrive, performs sophisticated courtship dances in the open meadows. Standing nearly 1.5 meters tall, these ancient birds dance with wings partially extended. They leap and bow in synchronized movements that reinforce pair bonds that can last for decades. Warmer days also trigger amphibian reproduction. The western toad emerges from hibernation and congregates in shallow pools. Males emit choruses of calls to attract females. After mating, the female deposits long strings of up to 16,000 eggs. These must complete their metamorphosis before the aquatic habitat dries up under the summer heat. These amphibians are vital indicators of ecosystem health because their permeable skin makes them vulnerable. In the coniferous forests, the American marten moves with amazing agility among the treetops. These small predators can take down prey larger than themselves, such as snowshoe hares. Snowshoe hares have already changed their white winter fur for summer brown. Aspen forests also undergo their spring transformation. These trees reproduce primarily by root suckers, forming clonal colonies where hundreds of trees are actually part of the same gigantic organism. For the elk, spring brings indispensable nutritional relief with the growth of fresh, protein-rich grass. Pregnant females seek out green areas with urgency to support the final phase of fetal development. Parturition usually peaks in late May and early June, when mothers seek isolated areas. The newborn fawn weighs about 16 kilograms and has a spotted coat that provides excellent camouflage. In their first few weeks, they remain silent and hidden while the mother grazes nearby and returns several times a day to nurse them. On the steep, rocky slopes of Yellowstone's mountains, the bighorn sheep welcomes its new generation. Lambs are born with an innate ability to climb. They develop rapidly under the guidance of their mothers. Just days after birth, they can navigate precarious ledges and near vertical cliffs. This adaptation allows them to escape predators that cannot follow them into such challenging terrain. Meadows and forest edges become the stage for bird courtships. Migratory songbird species establish territories and attract mates. The mountain bluebird is one of the first species to return. The male displays his radiant sky blue plumage. He performs aerial displays and shows potential nest cavities to demanding females. Their insectivorous diet forces them to synchronize their return with precision. If they arrive too early, they might not find enough food. If they arrive too late, the best sites will already have been occupied. Other subtle signs reveal the presence of permanent residents, like the dusky grouse. The male establishes display territories where he performs his characteristic wing beating. He stands on a fallen log and strikes his wings with an increasing rhythm that creates a sound similar to distant thunder. These sites are known as drumming logs. The sites can be used by successive generations of grouse for decades. The yellow-bellied marmot emerges from its 8 months of hibernation with a considerable workload. These large ground squirrels must regain the weight lost during the long winter sleep. They prepare for the short summer breeding season. Their warning whistles echo across the rocky slopes to alert the colony of potential aerial threats. The main danger is the golden eagle. This species of raptor can dive and capture even an adult marmot. The balance between life and death is maintained in the heights. Summer arrives in Yellowstone with the subtlety of an explosion. It is the season of an abundance almost unimaginable during the winter. The short window of ideal conditions triggers a biological race for growth and reproduction. It is the time for preparations for future challenges. Throughout the park's 810,000 hectares, life manifests in infinite forms. All organisms participate in the great summer acceleration. Solar energy is absorbed through plant photosynthesis. It flows through the food web with a unique intensity in this short season. For the grizzly bear, summer represents an opportunity for survival. After emerging from hibernation with a nutritional deficit, they now find themselves in an environment of abundance. Females with cubs are under special pressure. They must consume enough calories to maintain milk production while teaching essential skills. A grizzly mother can travel across hundreds of square kilometers during the summer. She guides her litter to seasonal food sources as they become available. The grizzly's diet demonstrates its adaptability. As omnivores, they consume everything from ants and moths to fawns and carrion. Their long claws serve as multi-purpose tools for digging up nutritious roots. They are also used for flipping rocks in search of crayfish and insects. A grizzly can consume 30,000 calories daily during the feeding peak. Cutthroat trout were historically a crucial food source for the bears. The illegal introduction of non-native lake trout devastated the cutthroat trout population. This forced the bears to look for other alternatives. Bison enter their breeding season, or rut, as the summer progresses. Megills reintegrate into the large herds dominated by females and young. The change in the male's behavior is drastic. Their usually calm character gives way to aggressive displays as they compete for mates. Male bison establish their dominance through impressive displays. They scrape the earth, creating mud holes to wallow in and cover their bodies with dirt. This behavior serves to ward off insects and to demonstrate size and strength. Their bellows echo for miles through the valleys. When displays are not enough, physical confrontations decide the hierarchy. These battles between 900-kilogram giants can reach an astonishing intensity. Males charge at each other at top speed. They use skulls and muscles adapted to absorb impacts that would kill other animals. Although rarely fatal, these battles can cause serious injuries. They reduce the male's chances of survival in the winter. The rut transforms the dynamics of the herd. Males test the receptivity of females using their acute sense of smell to detect hormonal changes. A female is only fertile for less than 24 hours. The largest and most dominant specimens perform most of the breeding, ensuring genetic quality. For the Yellowstone elk, summer is a phase of recovery and preparation. The females that gave birth in late spring now graze in the rich meadows. They transform abundant vegetation into nutritious milk for their rapidly growing fawns. For their part, the males invest enormous energy in the development of their antlers. It is the fastest growing tissue in the animal kingdom, capable of growing up to 2.5 centimeters daily at its peak. Elk antlers are wonders of biological engineering. They grow from specialized cells at the base and branch out according to their genetic programming and nutritional. It is a specialized layer of skin rich in blood and bone. At the end of summer, the antlers harden and blood flow ceases. The velvet dries and peels off, revealing the polished bone. Wolf cubs born in April have now left the den and established rendezvous sites on the ground. These places become the social center of the pack, where the cubs develop crucial skills through games that simulate adult behavior. They practice chases, leaps, and the establishment of hierarchies. They perform simulated fights and tests of strength. Adult pack members take turns hunting and caring for the cubs, maintaining the cooperative social structure. Upon return, the hunters regurgitate partially digested meat to feed the young and the adults who stayed behind to guard the site. Summer poses its own challenges for Yellowstone's wolves. Their thick double coat, a great advantage in winter, is now a burden under the summer heat. Wolves are active primarily at dawn and dusk. They rest in shaded areas during the hottest hours. Their success rate in hunting decreases compared to winter, as the prey has regained strength and mobility. Young pronghorns born in spring now exhibit the amazing speed characteristic of their species. By midsummer, they can outrun almost any predator. They practice their running skills and pronking, a special type of jump where all four legs leave the ground at the same time. This behavior serves to develop body coordination and cardiovascular capacity. The pronghorn's giant eyes reveal its evolutionary history. With pupils that are always horizontal and a visual field of nearly 320 degrees, they can detect movement at distances of up to 6 kilometers. These adaptations evolved to help them detect the American cheetah and other fast predators that disappeared at the end of the Pleistocene. Today's pronghorn possesses a design that seems to exceed the needs of its current environment. The black bear reaches its maximum level of activity in summer, and its omnivorous diet changes according to food availability. Unlike the grizzly, black bears are expert climbers. They use this skill both to find food and to escape threats. Their curved claws function as natural climbing tools, allowing them to climb vertical trunks with amazing speed. They can descend backward or in a controlled slide like a fireman on a pole. Their diet goes through phases of seasonal transition. Early summer brings plants and insect protein, later moving to berries as they ripen at different altitudes. Bears possess an exceptional spatial memory. They return to productive areas year after year and create what biologists call cultural knowledge, passed from generation in generation. In Yellowstone's lakes and ponds, trumpeter swan cygnets born in early summer follow their parents closely. They learn to search for aquatic plants, invertebrates, and occasionally small fish. These giant birds, with wingspans of nearly 2.5 meters, were near extinction in the early 20th century due to intensive hunting for their plumage and skin. Their recovery represents one of the partial successes of conservation, though they remain vulnerable to habitat loss. Beaver colonies reach their maximum annual activity level in the summer months. These extraordinary ecosystem engineers maintain complex family groups within solid lodges built of branches and mud. Their dams and dikes transform streams into rich wetlands that benefit countless species, from aquatic insects and amphibians to elk and waterfowl. A beaver family can fell hundreds of trees a year with a calculated selection of species and size. Their preferred food, the inner bark of aspen, cottonwood, and willow, is most nutritious in summer. They store surplus branches underwater near their lodges, creating larders that allow them to eat when ice makes terrestrial feeding difficult. The moose, the largest deer in North America, finds its ideal habitat in these beaver-created wetlands. Their specialized digestive system allows them to process aquatic plants that might be irritating or toxic to other ungulates. A moose can consume 22 to 27 kilograms of vegetation daily in summer, building up reserves to survive the winter when metabolism slows. They have developed remarkable adaptations for their semi-aquatic lifestyle. Their long nose and prehensile uplip function as flexible tongs for gathering plants on and under the water. The fold of skin hanging from their neck, called a bell, may function as a social signaling mechanism, though its exact purpose remains a debate among biologists. Summer provides the best fishing opportunities for the osprey in Yellowstone. These specialized raptors have unique adaptations for their piscivorous lifestyle. The outer toe can pivot backward to create a double grip, both front and back, which helps them hold firmly onto slippery fish. Special pads on their feet contain spicules that increase grip. The backward-pointing scales on their talons act as hooks to prevent prey from escaping. The osprey's nest, usually built on dead trees near productive fishing areas, becomes a hub of feverish activity. The parents bring a nearly continuous stream of fish for their growing chicks. The young develop rapidly, reaching nearly adult size just 6 weeks after hatching. Their first flights usually occur between the 7th and 8th week. Parents continue to supply food while the young perfect their hunting skills. While the osprey specializes in fishing, other raptors pursue different targets. The peregrine falcon, after recovering from near extinction due to DDT pesticide pollution, hunts smaller birds through spectacular aerial attacks. During their hunting dives, they can exceed 320 kilometers per hour, making them the fastest animal on Earth. This speed allows them to strike their prey in mid-air with such force that the impact is often immediately lethal. For its part, the golden eagle patrols the highest areas of Yellowstone, where ascending thermal currents offer ideal conditions for soaring. It has a wingspan of 2.4 meters and talons capable of exerting a pressure of 340 kilograms per square centimeter. They can capture large prey such as young pronghorns or coyotes. Their primary prey during the summer are the yellow-bellied marmot and the white-tailed jackrabbit, though they also seek carrion when they detect it. As day gives way to night, Yellowstone's diurnal beings seek refuge while nocturnal specialists begin to emerge. Fireflies perform bioluminescent courtship displays in the fields near water sources. Each species creates a unique flash pattern, forming a silent dialogue of light that allows males and females to identify their suitable partner in the darkness. little brown bats leave their daytime roosts in rock crevices and tree hollows to hunt flying insects. These aerial insectivores can consume more than 1,000 mosquitoes per hour. They help with natural pest control while transforming insect protein into guano, which fertilizes the soil and cave ecosystems. A single reproductive colony can consume tens of thousands of insects each night during the peak of summer. As summer transitions into autumn, subtle changes begin to appear. Days shorten almost imperceptibly, triggering hormonal changes in both plants and animals. Nights become cooler, giving way to the first color changes in deciduous vegetation. The great wheel of the seasons continues its eternal turn, moving inevitably toward the time of harvest and preparations for winter's return. This is the season of transition, reunions, and migrations. It is about mating rituals and final gatherings before winter reclaims the high ground. The score of autumn begins before dawn, when male elk announce their presence with haunting bellows. Their voices, half whistle, half roar, travel miles through the pure mountain air. They function as both a challenge to rivals and an invitation to potential mates. The rut has begun, transforming these usually quiet animals into aggressive competitors consumed by the reproductive drive. For the Yellowstone elk, autumn represents the culmination of the year's biological objective. The males have spent all summer developing and sharpening their magnificent antlers, which can measure up to 1.5 meters wide and weigh up to 18 kilograms. Now, these weapons and status symbols will decide their reproductive success. Males establish and defend harems of females that sometimes exceed 20 individuals. Confrontations between leaders can be spectacular and dangerous. Rivals of equal strength can fight for hours with antlers locked, pushing, twisting, and maneuvering to gain an advantage. The winner takes or maintains breeding rights, while the loser retreats to recover his strength. Fatal injuries, though rare, are not non-existent. Broken legs, puncture wounds, or locked antlers can occur, condemning both to a slow death by starvation. A female is only fertile for a 24-hour period within her estrus cycle, which generates fierce competition among males. The dominant male must constantly guard the harem, detecting when each female reaches her point of fertility. The male must repel opportunistic rivals. The energy expenditure is colossal. A male can lose up to 20% of his body weight during the rut, entering winter in a vulnerable state. For the grizzly bear, autumn triggers hyperphagia, a biological state in which hunger eclipses almost every other need. Bears must consume up to 20,000 calories daily during this stage to build up fat reserves. These reserves will allow them to survive hibernation. Their digging ability intensifies as they search for roots of biscuit root, lumper, and other starch-rich tubers. The prominent hump on the grizzly's shoulders contains large muscle masses that power this work. Their front claws, which can exceed 10 centimeters in length, act as effective digging tools. A single bear can move large tracts of earth during its autumn search. This helps to aerate the soil and disperse plant seeds. Berry fields attract bears from miles away, thanks to an extraordinary sense of smell capable of detecting ripe fruit at remote distances. Cranberries, service berries, wild cherries, and buffalo berries provide concentrated sugars. These sugars are efficiently transformed into the layer of fat needed for the winter. A bear can consume thousands of berries a day, staining its fur around the snout and paws with the juice of the fruits. In river basins, where the native cutthroat trout population remains healthy, autumn fish migrations provide an essential source of protein and fat. Bears use various fishing techniques to prepare. They may stand motionless, waiting for the rapid passage of a fish, or dive headfirst to catch it against the stream bed. Others simply enter shallow water and slap fish toward the bank with their powerful paws. At higher altitudes, whitebark pine seeds become available as their cones ripen. The black bear, with its superior climbing ability, scales to the canopy to collect this highly caloric food. The grizzly, less suited for climbing, may shake the trees or search for the seed stores that red squirrels have hidden. A single cone of this pine can contain more than 100 seeds. Each seed provides concentrated nutrition crucial for weight gain before hibernation. As autumn progresses, females take on a rounded appearance due to the accumulation of subcutaneous fat. Their previously flat faces thicken, and their bodies become visibly circular. This transformation is their guarantee of survival. Each pound of fat helps sustain the bear for one day of hibernation. Females that will give birth in winter need additional reserves to maintain milk production while they remain in the den. Time is running out before the first major storm covers the plateau. Yellowstone's bison herds transition from the summer rut to a phase of intense preparation for the challenges of winter. Males now concentrate on recovering their physical condition after the energy drain of the rut. Their massive heads and robust shoulders possess specialized bone structures and muscle masses. They are developed specifically to push snow aside and access the layer of dry grass. Many Yellowstone bison perform seasonal movements in response to changing conditions. As snow accumulates in the highlands, herds gradually descend to lower elevation wintering areas. These journeys follow traditional routes used for generations. They represent a form of cultural knowledge transmitted among members of the herd. Bison begin to grow their winter coats as the days shorten, regardless of temperature. The thick, coarse outer layer of guard hair can measure up to 38 centimeters. The dense inner layer of down provides insulation, capable of resisting temperatures of 40 degrees below zero. This adaptation is so efficient that snow can accumulate on their backs without melting. For the Yellowstone pronghorn, Autumn marks the beginning of one of the longest ungulate migrations in the contiguous 48 US states. Some herds travel more than 240 kilometers south. The journey heads toward wintering grounds in the Green River Basin in Wyoming. This route crosses various management areas, navigating a maze of roads, fences, and human settlements. The pronghorn's extraordinary adaptations become evident during migration. In the event of an alarm, specialized muscle bundles raise the white hair on their rump. This movement creates a bright signal visible for miles to warn others of danger. Their heart, lungs, and maximum-sized trachea allow them to run at a sustained speed of 56 kilometers per hour. They can reach bursts of speed exceeding 88 kilometers per hour. This is an evolutionary response to now extinct predators that today allows them to stay safe from wolves and coyotes. For Yellowstone's wolves, autumn brings family consolidation. Cubs born in spring are now nearly grown and more deeply integrated into the group's activities. The organized chaos of summer rearing gives way to much more coordinated pack behaviors. Hunting efficiency improves thanks to the participation of these young adolescents. Their excessive enthusiasm sometimes ruins the calculated stalking plans of experienced adults. Wolves usually travel in single file, placing the hind paw exactly in the track left by the front paw. This energy-saving movement allows them to cover great distances with minimal effort. A typical pack can patrol a territory of more than 320 square kilometers. They use howls and scent marks to delimit their borders with neighboring packs. Group cohesion is reinforced through shared sounds. The wolf's howl serves multiple functions. It serves to announce territory, convene meetings, and express social bonds. Each wolf has a unique voice that other members can recognize. The howl usually begins with an individual and then increases as others join, creating a harmonious polyphony. These sounds can travel miles through Yellowstone's open valleys. They form one of nature's most iconic soundscapes. Autumn also brings feverish activity to beaver colonies. These industrious rodents must ensure that their dams and lodges are in perfect condition before ice limits their construction capacity. The sound of falling trees becomes common along riparian corridors. Beavers collect building materials and store food reserves for the winter. The beaver's characteristic orange incisors grow continuously throughout its life. They possess an enamel layer on the front that is harder than the back. This difference in hardness creates a self-sharpening effect. As the tooth wears down, it maintains a chisel-like edge capable of felling a tree 15 centimeters in diameter in less than 30 minutes. Beaver lodges are carefully constructed to offer protection against predators and thermal insulation against the cold. The walls reach 1 meter in thickness, made of interlaced branches and sealed with mud. The inner chamber maintains a temperature above 0 degrees Celsius, even when the outside temperature plunges far below freezing. The underwater entrance prevents the intrusion of terrestrial predators. Food stores submerged under the ice provide nutrition when foraging outside becomes impossible. It is a masterful survival strategy. The first significant snowfalls usually reach the Yellowstone Highlands in October. They create a landscape in a phase of transition. These early storms can melt quickly, but they act as the herald of the coming season. Flora and fauna react to these signals with growing urgency. Creatures complete final preparations before winter officially reigns over the plateau. Morning frosts become more frequent as autumn advances. Crystalline structures temporarily transform Yellowstone's meadows. These frosts trigger the final dormancy in many plant species. Chemical processes shift from growth to winter survival. Plants adapt their cellular structures to prevent them from rupturing due to freezing temperatures. Elk begin their autumn migration. They abandon their summer residency areas in the park's highlands to move to lower elevations. Some herds travel up to 96 kilometers, following ancestral routes used by their predecessors for countless generations. These journeys cross multiple administrative boundaries. They pass through park borders, national forests, and private lands. Human development increasingly fragments traditional migratory corridors, posing challenges for conservation. Geothermal zones maintain their surreal appearance despite the change of season. The vibrantly colored bacterial mats surrounding the hot springs change slightly. The change occurs in response to the drop in ambient temperature as different microbial populations predominate. Some thermal pools look even more spectacular, surrounded by frost or light snow. The contrast between extreme heat and intense cold generates dreamlike steam effects under the daylight. Yellowstone prepares to close the circle and face the rigors of winter once again. Trees marked by bears suffer more and more scratches and bites as winter approaches. Both black bears and grizzlies leave trails of scent, hair, and visual signals of their presence by rubbing and scratching specific trees. These forms of communication help them avoid direct confrontations during the hyperphagia period prior to hibernation. It is a stage where aggression levels are very high and territories often overlap in the most productive feeding sites. Brown trout, introduced into Yellowstone waters in the early 20th century, begin their spawning season as the water temperature drops. Females use their tails to dig depressions in the gravel bed of streams, where they deposit eggs. Unlike the native cutthroat trout, which spawns in spring, brown trout reproduce in autumn. Their eggs develop slowly during the winter months before hatching in early spring. The red fox's characteristic colours become more vibrant as its winter coat begins to grow. The dense underfur, which can increase in thickness by up to 40% to protect the body from the cold, gives them a more robust appearance. These highly adaptable predators expand their hunting range beyond rodents whenever possible. They take advantage of the seasonal vulnerability of ground-nesting birds or an injured ungulate that cannot escape. The bighorn sheep prepares for its own breeding season as autumn arrives. After spending the summer in bachelor groups, they now approach the female herds with growing interest. Initial interactions between males begin with ritual headbutting, in which their giant curved horns clash without yet using their full power. The horns of an adult ram can weigh more than 13.6 kilograms, representing approximately 10% of its total body weight. Unlike deer antlers, which are shed annually, these horns grow continuously throughout the animal's life. They create annual growth rings similar to those of trees. The struggle between males of equivalent status generates a sound that echoes for miles in the mountain valleys. Early snowfalls reveal movement routes of Yellowstone's wildlife that were previously invisible. Game trails become sharp as snow accumulates everywhere except on these paths frequented by footsteps. These trails often represent optimal movement corridors through the complex relief. They follow contour lines that minimize energy expenditure and offer escape options should a predator appear. Mule deer intensify their feeding as autumn advances. They shift from the succulent vegetation of summer to drier, woodier shrubs, which will constitute their winter diet. Their specialized stomach, home to a complex microbiota, helps break down plant materials that most other mammals cannot digest. This adaptation allows them to extract maximum nutrition from apparently poor food sources, such as sagebrush and bitterbrush. The prehensile upper lip of the mule deer allows it to precisely select the most nutritious parts. Unlike their white-tailed relatives, mule deer pluck specific leaves and parts with delicacy. This optimizes nutrient intake and minimizes energy expenditure. The trumpeter swans that raised their cygnets in Yellowstone's protected waters now prepare to migrate to lower areas. There, water sources remain unfrozen during the winter. Young swans born in spring must develop enough physical condition for flight. Their massive body requires a considerable takeoff runway and consumes a lot of energy to maintain flight. Parents and young usually stay together throughout the winter. This family bond provides additional security in the difficult months ahead. Spider species also experience their own autumn dynamics. Many reach maturity and their maximum size at the end of summer, and egg-laying occurs before heavy frosts. Some species create special egg sacs with insulating properties to protect the offspring. Others produce eggs containing glycerol as a natural antifreeze. The characteristic woolly bear caterpillar becomes a common sight in autumn as it seeks shelter to winter. Popular wisdom suggests its color bands can predict the severity of winter. These beings can survive after being frozen, thanks to special proteins in their tissues that prevent the typical cellular damage caused by frost. Yellowstone Lake is the scene of spectacular autumn congregations. Canada geese cluster in preparation for their journey south. Their characteristic honking creates a continuous sound background as they feed busily on aquatic plants. They need to build up the necessary fuel reserves for their long-distance flights. These pre-migratory gatherings can reach thousands of individuals and transform bays into noisy bird conferences. As autumn progresses, the human presence in Yellowstone gradually diminishes. Most of the park's lodging facilities close their doors in late October. Roads become prone to being blocked by snow, and only the most tenacious visitors remain. This reduction in activity allows wildlife to reclaim spaces occupied by tourism. Bear tracks on fresh snow become more common as the winter dormancy approaches. Bears concentrate their final efforts on feeding before retreating to their dens. Young bears preparing for their first hibernation show a special frenzy in searching for food. This is due to their lack of fat reserves and experience. Choosing a den is a vital decision for the hibernating bear. Grizzlies usually dig their burrows on north-facing slopes at high altitudes. There, snow accumulates early and stays all winter, providing a crucial insulation layer. The effort invested in building the shelter depends on the predicted severity of the winter. The cottonwoods that grow along watercourses create some of autumn's most impressive visual compositions. Their vibrant yellow foliage often reflects perfectly on calm waters. These trees play a fundamental ecological role in the riparian ecosystem. Their root system stabilizes banks against erosion, while their branches provide nesting environments for birds. The branches also serve as perching platforms for the bald eagle. The fall of leaves in autumn returns essential nutrients to the soil through the process of decomposition. Fungi and bacteria disintegrate fallen vegetation, transforming complex biological structures into basic components. This recycling system represents one of nature's most efficient processes. Nothing is wasted as energy and matter circulate in the ecosystem in continuous transformation. Yellowstone prepares to close the circle and face the rigors of winter once again. As autumn nights lengthen, opportunities to admire the aurora borealis increase. These ethereal light displays are the result of the interaction between solar particles with Earth's magnetic field and atmosphere. Yellowstone's relative isolation from light pollution makes it an excellent site for observing auroras. Curtains of green, purple, and occasionally red light create unforgettable experiences for lucky observers. The first significant ice formations appear on the banks of streams and rivers when autumn temperatures drop below freezing. These crystalline structures grow from the shore, creating delicate patterns that change daily with the temperature. The sound of flowing water is muffled as ice limits the channel, creating an acoustic signal announcing the advance of the season. When the last days of autumn yield to winter's dominion, the great cycle prepares to begin anew. Seeds lie dormant under the earth and snow. Animals adapt to winter survival, and the landscape enters a phase of apparent repose that hides the biological processes continuing beneath the surface. The wheel of the seasons continues its eternal turn in Yellowstone, the first national park in the United States and one of its largest living laboratories. For more than 150 years, this place has served as a refuge for wildlife. The park also functions as a showcase for visitors. This dual purpose generates inevitable tensions when seeking a balance between conservation and accessibility. Scientific research must be balanced with recreational use and the values of wilderness with human well-being. The park represents a continuous experiment in how humanity can live in harmony with the natural world. The human footprint in Yellowstone is relatively small compared to surrounding lands. However, our presence continues to generate a domino effect on the entire ecosystem. Roads fragment habitats, and alter animal movement patterns. Infrastructure concentrates human activity in sensitive areas. Even wildlife watching can distort natural behaviors when visitors approach too closely. Nonetheless, the park also showcases conservation success stories that would have been impossible without human intervention. The return of the wolf in the mid-1990s restored a key predator that had been absent for decades. This triggered trophic cascades that helped improve the health and biodiversity of the ecosystem. Careful management has allowed for the recovery of populations of grizzly bears, bison, trumpeter swans, and other species. All of them were once in danger of extinction in the region. Scientific research conducted within the boundaries of Yellowstone has expanded human understanding in multiple aspects. Advances have been achieved from microbiology to ecosystem dynamics. Extremophile bacteria discovered in the thermal features revolutionized the study of DNA through heat-resistant enzymes. These are currently used in laboratories worldwide. The reintroduction of the wolf has provided unprecedented opportunities to study the predator-prey relationship in an intact ecosystem. Perhaps most importantly, Yellowstone demonstrates the value of restraint. It is about the conscious choice not to urbanize and not to radically alter landscapes that function under natural laws. These ecosystems provide practical benefits through ecological services. They also provide less tangible, but equally important, spiritual and cultural values. The true measure of Yellowstone's success may lie in its ability to inspire awe for the natural world. Generations of visitors have experienced moments of consciousness change upon encountering wildlife, or by gaining a humble perspective before the grand scale of natural processes. As climate change alters temperature and precipitation patterns, Yellowstone faces new challenges. Species adapted to a specific season may see their life cycles desynchronized. Winters are shortening, affecting both wildlife and the availability of water resources for agriculture. The park's intact state provides important resilience, but it cannot escape global changes. In the face of global environmental challenges, Yellowstone stands as a warning and, at the same time, a hope. It is a reminder of what we can lose due to neglect. It also shows what can still be preserved or restored through conscious management. The seasons will continue their eternal turn here, but their rhythm will increasingly reflect human decisions. The future of this landscape depends not only on internal management, but on the collective decisions of humanity. It is how we will relate to the natural world that nurtures us all. Have you been captivated by the wildlife and seasons of Yellowstone? Click like and share your favorite animal in the comments. If you wish to support the conservation of this natural wonder, don't forget to share this video with your friends. Be sure to click the bell icon so you don't miss our upcoming stories about the wild world. Until then, keep waiting for other adventures in the midst of nature. Amen.